I think people are often surprised to hear my story. My husband is Mexican, who's 8 years older than me. He has a grown daughter who's 28 years old, and she has 2 children of her own. I'm a stepmom and a step-grandma, and, you know, a year ago, I was dating a great guy and planning my wedding. In Jesse, what I've learned about him, and I think part of this plays into his culture, is the more the merrier. I mean, he lived with 10 people under one roof. I had 4 of us. Culturally, as I've visited Mexico and have spent time with his family, a lot of it is pretty spontaneous. To me, you know, right out of the gate, it was very overwhelming because there's a lot of people doing a lot of things in terms of food. We've got people making things over here on the stove. There are people cutting vegetables and fruit, and people out on the deck grilling food, and just everything was centered around the meal.
Can you do me a favor and tell Aunt Ashley to give you a towel for the tortillas?
I'm just overwhelmed, again in a good way, learning about the history behind the meal, the food and the appreciation. But it wasn't just a meal, it was a story. I have a memory of, we were going to have carne asada, so Jesse he's the grill master, but I want to make the tortillas. When everybody shows up, I've already got the flour and I'm mixing the water and I'm bringing it all together, and they couldn't believe it. His sister comes up and says, I brought you an apron from Mexico, an apron similar to what her mom had worn. So I have on the apron. I'm so proud of myself. I'm making tortillas from scratch. I get out this tortilla press, and the family doesn't realize that it's their mother's. So Jesse tells everyone, well, when we went and visited Dad in Mexico, he gave this to Ashley. And I do have a picture of the sisters and I and Jesse's daughter, my stepdaughter. We're all surrounding this tortilla press, and we're making tortillas. His siblings, just like my sibling, embraced me and embraced him very early on. Like, hey, this person's important to you, they're important to us too.